Happy Tuesday to her.
Happy Tuesday, Consuela.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing fabulous.
You're looking fabulous.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
I'm borking it up. I hope you noticed.
I noticed.
So yeah, I had to change because we have a special stream today, and I didn't want to show
Yes.
up in my bridal gown.
Right. Right. But
So
you still wanted to dress classy.
I did, because it's a very classy kind of, like, I don't know,
It is.
environment. So
Yeah.
so we're here at a very special build for an event I talked a little bit about, just like a touch,
A
like a
little
little
teaser.
teaser,
Yeah.
when we were covering the part 1 of 8. Well, I said that wrong. Well, I didn't say it wrong, but it sounds funny. Part 1 of exploring the store named 8.
Yes.
Not 1 of 8. And although I think it's going to be 2, right? It's going to be 2 parts.
It's looking like it's going to be 2 parts.
Okay. And so we got some people in the chat. I see Shallon. Hey, Shallon. I haven't talked to Shallon in a minute. And 8's in the chat. So I'm very excited to have 8 here, which would be Pippa. And then you're in the chat. Oh, Fisha's in the chat. Hi, Fisha. Welcome. So we're here at this build for the Elevate SL competition. I mentioned it when we were doing the part 1 of exploring 8, and I saw all the little blogger showcases, and that's what triggered the memory in my head of talking to Pippa in the first place after she saw part 1 of the Elope Expo. And she had talked to me about this special, like, competition that she was a part of. And so that's what those little blogger spaces reminded me of. And then we had more of a conversation with Pippa, and that's what brings us here today.
Yeah, so I was also really enthralled by that little blogger spot, and even more kind of enchanted when you mentioned this idea. And then Pip asked for us to give a little bit of a shout out for this event and a little coverage of it. And I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm a builder at heart, so this is absolutely, something that speaks to me. This idea, because everyone goes off and we build up beauty in our little corners of the grid. And a lot of times, unless you become like a great destination that just everybody knows about, a lot of these places are, and a lot of these talents are kind of underrepresented. So, having this kind of competition, I think is a great way of just showcasing that and bringing builders to the forefront. Because of course, there's various fashion competitions and modeling competitions and all that, and that's wonderful.
Me, I know those.
Yes, you've been in those. I
just have to say, I competed as Miss Virtual World. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
But giving some love to the builder community is absolutely just, I think, special. And so this I just I gotta mention, presented by 8 Square, 12 and Zaker, and sponsored by Bon Air, Laviara, Knoxwood, and Details. And I love you all for that, for putting this thing together.
I'm very excited about a new competition.
Yeah, me too.
But what were
you want to run through some of the details on?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the point, like you said, it's this, to my knowledge, and I know we got Pippa and some of the other presenters in the chat, in the live stream chat, and I saw Knoxwood's in the mix too. So we've got some of the designs behind who's presenting it. So we've got sponsors in the mix, and so definitely chime in the chat if we're misspeaking on any of the details. But to my understanding, this is the first round of competition. And when we were talking to Pippa the other day, it sounds like Like, I know there's 2 seasons here, it's spring and summer together, but it sounded to me like they wanted to kind of break it down into individual seasons, maybe as they go forward, to have like 4
Mhm.
different competitions, for the different seasons. So if I'm misspeaking on that, please correct me in the chat.
And
Um,
I imagine that they'll also feel that out depending on how this goes too.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that's actually something I just see JB's in the chat, and they even make a comment. Maybe there should be separate competitions for professional and amateur. Funny you say that, JB, because that's actually the plan. So, because there
Yeah.
are pros, and some people might feel intimidated by that, right?
Mhm.
But then there's other, as I guess what you would call them, hobbyists, maybe,
Yeah.
who do have a talent for this. And that's actually in some of the details here. So if I kind of start covering a little bit of this, this season celebrates the best in design, creativity, and innovation within the designer community. There is an application, as you see behind us, there's a sign here, and there will be a Google form that is active in 2 days. So the applications will open on the 15th and applications will close on the 22nd. I won't link you because the application is not open right now. And you want to come here and click this sign. Unless, Pippa and the team give me a link to put out later, I will. But for now, I think the idea is to come to this venue to click this sign. And if I pull back a little bit, I'll start just kind of slowly going back. I enjoyed, again, I don't know if just Pippa loves to I don't know if it's just Pippa who designed this, but the runway effect. So look at this. The floor on here, Elevate SL
Oh yeah.
Awards. I love that. And that's been on social media. And then she has like this runway here that I just love because I love a runway, but I won't cam too far back. So because there's things still under development. And so it's just,
Yes.
the venue is gorgeous, but I'm not surprised because I had already gotten a sampling of some of these designers, including 8, at the Elope Expo. And then when we went to 8, right, there's just so much like luxury and style that I really enjoy. And, it really factors in because you and I tend to do more like, I don't know, farmhouse chic generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Shabby
you were,
chic.
well, yeah, I call it farmhouse chic, but
Yeah.
but you, I think, kind of gave me low key hard time about the Blanche Oasis. Like,
I did, absolutely.
you want to
The
explain
Blanche
yourself
Palace.
on that?
Well, yeah. So yeah, we tend to have farmhouse / rustic sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I need this grand palace with this gigantic room with this huge glass wall overlooking a pool
Uh-huh.
overlooking the water, and I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I
We all
see.
need a little luxury in our second lives. And
Yeah.
and the reaction you gave me to this build, around this is what we're decorating next. And even you call the common room a ballroom. And that's not
I
it, but
I
we'll call it a
still do
ballroom.
to this day.
But you have done such a great job decorating in there. And
Mhm.
I have enjoyed getting to know new designers because of the change in genre, I guess.
Yes, it
And
has pushed us into different designers for sure. Like we've
yes,
pulled things from well, now from 8 certainly. We
yes,
uh,
we're definitely pulling from 8 and
got a bunch of
others.
stuff there. Got artsy. Got
Oh,
some
yes. Let's see,
different.
we
Was it
fell
is
in
it
love with,
Bijou? Yeah,
huh?
and we
Bijou,
got.
right? For fancy baby stuff.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of new, I love exploring new designers or being introduced to new designers and using them
Yeah.
in the spaces we create for ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
if I continue on with the details, then there will be awards and recognition. The total prize pool, are you ready for this? This is
I'm
huge.
ready.
It's huge. 100,000 lindens. That's the total. That's the total prize pool. And so it's
Whew.
recognizing exceptional work across both professional and hobbyists. There will be 6 winners from each category, and they're going to be honored with custom trophies by Zaker. If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me. I'm reading it like Baker, but with a Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's going to be exclusive sponsor prizes. Now, I'm assuming this trophy we're next to might be an example. Like, I'm going to cam back over here because I was just cammed out wide because I love the venue. There's a trophy over here next to us. So I'm wondering, and they could correct me in the chat, is this like one of the trophies that they would get? It says Elevate, SL Awards, 2025 on it. I'm suspecting this might be one of those custom trophies.
It might, yeah, it might be, that might be the custom trophy, yeah.
Right. And let's see. So there's exclusive sponsor prizes, featured media coverage. Now, I'm going to say we've already been invited to be commentators and live stream. So we're going to be involved. So there's going to be more Elevate. Opportunities to showcase work in curated exhibitions. Now, I think this is where your wheels started turning on Visionaire. So I don't know if you want to make a comment about that, because I see exhibitions and then I start thinking Visionaire myself.
Right. So, so I know when we've done photography exhibitions in Visionaire, every student like gets their own space and they set up their photography there, and we always have done, of course, our own specific kind of we Visionaire do kind of a specific zoom in on that particular exhibit, talk about that person's style, a little bit about what our take on it is, and we do that for each and every exhibit. And I think I definitely want to do that for each of the students, for each of the contestants.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing up words here, because I really enjoy. I do that anyway when we're just going along. I love to just hone in and be like, I know when you're decorating, I know from the perspective of the decorator, a lot of thought goes into arranging every little thing. And a lot of times you have kind of a story or a scene in your head that you're trying to convey. And I love to try and interpret that. And I love that sort of conveyance of information just through a purely static kind of arrangement of things, rather than you don't have necessarily written word or music or moving pictures or anything to tell that story. When you're building, you just have, I'm creating this scene and it has to speak for itself. Mm-hmm. And I definitely would love to give that kind of treatment to each of the exhibit spots.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So then if I continue looking over my notes here, let me give the prize breakdown. So
yeah, I'm sure everyone's interested.
I know, they're like, tell us more about the Lindens. So let's start at the bottom. So third place for each category is a 5,000 Linden cash prize and Fat Pack / Mega Pack of selected sponsor products and 5,000 Linden's sponsor gift card. So that's just for third place in each category.
Yeah, and I actually want to pause you here, because what I find really interesting about this kind of breakdown is it looks to me like they're actually, someone in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. It looks to me as if they're laying down like equal cash prize for both the professionals and the hobbyists.
That's what I'm reading.
They're not like undercutting the hobbyist scene either. So, I mean, big tip of the hat for that.
Yeah.
Because it would be easier to. No one would fault them for saying, the professionals get a higher prize pool, but if they stick to this huge respect for that.
Agreed. That's saying something. That's saying something in and of itself. Like, this is not, shorting the hobbyists by any means. So, because much like I said, the hobbyists, they may not make their living in Second Life by doing sim design or what have you, but they have a talent for it. Maybe they don't want that. They don't want to work on that level. They want to make spaces they just enjoy for themselves or their family or friends. So I think that's
let's
cool.
be real. Like, the vast majority of the grid was built by hobbyists.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, some of maybe the best looking places probably are by professionals, but the lifeblood is people who are just here living,
Yeah.
doing what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 8 confirms, yes, that's correct.
So in second
Thank you.
place, the Fat Pack, Mega
Mhm.
Pack, and the gift card, the sponsor gift cards, is the same as third, but the cash prize in Lindens is 15,000 Linden to
Woo!
the second place professional and second place hobbyist. And then in the first place position, then things change a little bit. So you still
Mhm.
get the Fat Pack, Mega Pack of selected sponsor products, but now
Mhm.
your gift card amount has gone up to 10,000 Linden, and your cash prize is 30,000 Linden.
And well deserved too.
Yeah, that's huge. So I get it.
Mhm.
That's we're definitely 100,000 Linden is in the mix. So then if we look at the timeline of things, like I said, like I shared before, the 15th, like I put the slurl to this location in the chat, in the description of the live stream. So you would come over here, you would click the sign, you would get the Google link to fill out your application. You have until the 22nd to do that. Then and maybe again Pippa or someone, one of the presenters or sponsors, can speak to this in the chat. I guess what I'm curious about, a question I have is, okay, so you've submitted your application, then the resing and setup period begins on May 29th. Does this mean that everyone who's applied, like I'm not sure what's on the application, is there
I
everyone's in, or is there some kind of selection process? That's my initial question. I mean, I don't know, Tor, what do you think? Do you think it's just everybody?
I would I wasn't reading this as submissions are in by the 22nd, and sometime between them and the 29th is when they need to set up. And the reason I say that is um, otherwise they have like 24 hours to set up.
Right, because then the venue's open to the public on May 30. So they
Right.
submit on the 22nd, and then they're given access and go build.
Yeah.
And so
then
they
at
have
some
7
point-
days.
Yeah. Yes. That's why I'm reading it.
All right. So again, presenters and sponsors in the chat, please let us know if we're getting anything wrong.
Yeah. Okay, there is a selection
Let's see.
process.
Okay.
I'm guessing that some of the details like prim allowance and the actual physical space of the build will be provided to people as, upon being accepted. I also suspect that may not be set in stone, but it may be. It depends, because obviously if they want to have all the exhibits on the sim at the same time, they have to arrange it in such a way that they'll all fit. And depending on how many contestants they get, they might have to scale that down. But it also might already be set in stone in the application.
Yeah.
8 suggests that a lot of the details are in the app. So
you might have to wait to the 15th. Come here, check it out, get the link, read the application. And then to 7's earlier question, the question is this for interior design / landscaping? So I definitely interior design because of the brands involved, but as far as landscaping, I'm not sure. Like when we were at 8 and looking at the blogger showcase, they all had little boxes, right, that they designed inside of. There wasn't really much opportunity for landscaping with those, but I don't know if that's going to be a similar sort of format. And so
I suspect you could make it work if you really wanted to do landscaping, but not landscaping as in like adjusting the terrain, more just like doing kind of a little bit more of an outdoor scene ish, or like slightly outdoor ish. But it sounds like the Knoxwood is suggesting it's primarily for interior design, so
yeah,
that'd be where you'd want to focus.
Right, and that's what my thinking was as well. With the brands involved, this is largely an interior design competition. So, and I appreciate all the details, all the folks in the chat answering questions and asking questions. So, and Knoxwood, not for landscaping at this time. So,
right.
So it sounds like, though, the way that Knoxwood has framed that response, that maybe landscaping probably largely depends on what brands become involved, I would figure. But I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. So okay. Let me look back at my notes here and see what else. So okay, so resing and setup period, like we said, you have about a week. So you submit, then it sounds like if I read the chat right, there might be some preliminary selection. Um, uh, you can look back in the chat tour, but that's what it looked like to me. Because I
Yeah,
don't
it sounds
know.
like there is a selection process. We don't know
We don't know the
the
details. It'll
details of
be
that.
a
That's going to
surprise.
be up to the, yep.
And then
So venue opens and then
yeah,
judging days
venue
the
opens
2nd.
May 30
Mhm.
and it goes to June 14th. And then the judging is June 2nd, right? So I guess my question now is about the judging, like who judges? Is it the presenters, the
I would
sponsors?
think it would, well, yeah, I would think that it would be the presenters, but it might be a mix of both.
I asked this question because having been a former SL model who actually competed in things, that the judges were not necessarily the people, the brands behind the competitions.
That's true. That's true.
So the
Yeah.
judges were invited based on their, what's the word? Well, in
Creds.
modeling, it was based upon their celebrity, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious. Tell if the brands in the chat who are behind this event can shed any light on the judges. Like, are you all the judges? Is it special invited people? Is it folks who are known in the industry to come judge? I'm curious because is that a question you can answer right now?
Yeah.
And while they may or may not be typing, what do you think, Tor?
All very fair questions. So, ooh, it's a surprise for the judge.
Surprise! Oh, so many surprises.
So many surprises.
Huh. I love a surprise.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe everyone who doesn't get selected gets to be judges.
What? You almost made me spit my Diet Coke out just now with that. It's like you weren't selected, but you can judge. I don't know about that one, Tor.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this, and yeah, so they're gonna have the grand celebration on the 15th.
Oh, Knoxwood chimed in. It's a mix.
It's a mix. Public and creators.
And creators. All
Very
right.
good.
All right. I'm very curious to see who the judges will be, and if I know any of them, or we. I feel like we know a fair amount of people at this point, just because of what we've been doing with our channel so far and getting to meet folks. But that's not to say that we know everyone, because we don't.
No, definitely not.
But I love getting to meet new people.
Yeah.
And so I'm really very curious to see who the judges will be.
Yeah. So, and yeah, the grand winner celebration Sunday, June 15 at 10 a.m. SLT. That's going to be like a big award thing. It'll be cool.
Yeah. This might be, this part makes me sad, and only because I will be out of the country.
No.
But this is where you remember we talked about this, like you might stream. I think we know what you're going to be streaming.
Yep, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm going out of the country on a vacation in early June. So I'll be tuning in to find out what happens when Tour's streaming it. So yeah, but we'll get it covered. We're here. I'm invested regardless.
Yes, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Right. Then, okay, so you touched on the celebration.
Yes.
If you, I don't remember if I have Pippa's Facebook and LinkedIn there, but I know I have Elevate linked on Facebook and on Instagram. So I highly recommend that you follow them on social media. I know Pippa was saying it was, if you had questions, to message her on Facebook.
We'll make sure to get the link in this.
I'll add it to the description, because I know the folks can't post anything in the chat.
Yep.
Hawaiian Escape is here. Hi, Hawaiian Escape. So designers or in the chat who are involved in this event, if there's anything else you want us to touch on, go ahead and toss it out there. I've read through all my notes now. Is there anything else, Tour, that you want to touch on?
I am just really, really excited about this event, and I'm I'm pleased as punch that
Pleased
builders are
as
getting some
punch.
love, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing what people come up with. I don't think that I'm gonna try to apply for this round.
Uh-huh.
Time is really rough on me at the moment, um, so I don't think that I would have the bandwidth to do what needs doing. But maybe maybe I'll sneak into the next one.
I would love to see you try. Like, not
Yeah,
that that's not a dare. I have every confidence in you, but I think
yeah.
watching this and commentating for the first round would
Hmm.
be educational,
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
Because with it being the first round, you really don't know what to expect. So those folks who enter it now are really, you know, groundbreakers for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't be applying, but Tour might. So, um,
Also, it's speaking as just kind of a hobbyist sort of builder.
mhm.
One of the best ways that I kind of learned a little bit more about how to decorate and how to do some of the you know tips and tricks and how to arrange things a little bit in more interesting ways is by seeing what other people did, and having a showcase like this where you can basically have the same constrained amount of space and land impact and see what different people do with that and how they make stuff work and how they like hide imperfections and all of that stuff. I think it's going to be educational for everyone involved because no one can become the best builder in a vacuum. Nobody just totally purely self-taught everything. Every one of us learned from seeing a little bit of what other people are doing too.
Mhm.
So I
And it
think
looks
it's
like
also going to be great in that front.
I agree. And it looks like we got
Mhm.
some clarification on it's 2 times a year. So we'll always be like 2 seasons together. So they're doing the spring summer that's opening
Okay.
on the 15th and then fall winter. So,
Okay. So yeah, so it's running. A season is two periods long,
yeah.
basically 2 quarters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to watching it all unfold. Very excited
Yeah.
to learn of the event and to be invited to talk about it and to cover it. I'm very excited to stream it
Heck yeah.
and give it
I'm
the love
very.
it deserves.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
All
I
right.
think that's everything from me.
Okay. Last chance for our designers in the chat if there's anything you want to call out. But otherwise, in the meantime, I'm going to thank everyone who joined us for this announcement. We had lots of folks in the chat. I love seeing it. So Shallon
Mm-hmm.
and 8, Freesia, Knoxwood, Scrolling JB.
JB. Mm-hmm.
Um,
We
then
got
we had
7.
Seven Luxwood. That's a great name. Then we had Hawaiian Escape. That's another great name. Um, and I think I got everybody who was in the chat with us. So we
Yep.
appreciate you being here with us live. Um, I know I'm very excited to see how this all goes. So I hope everybody's excited as well. And I hope folks are encouraged to apply. Like I said, um,
On the
I
15th.
on the
Be there.
15th, right? This
Apply.
is
Apply immediately. Don't put it off. I know it ends on the 22nd,
right.
but get in here, y'all,
Yep.
and apply early.
Yep, the slurl's in the description of the video, so you would be able to come right here and click this board behind me to get your link to the Google form. So,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, so I'm gonna pull back so we can see this lovely venue one more time. I keep going in and out because it's just gorgeous. And so here's the venue. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate all the folks who were here live. We appreciate all the folks who watch later. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with friends. We appreciate all of that, and we appreciate all of you.
And as a final note to my hobbyists who are close to my heart, fellow hobbyists, do not sell yourself short and think, oh, I just do a little bit here and there. I am not good enough to join a contest. Get in here, apply. This is, if you're putting yourself out there, if you're using your creativity and just creating something to the best of your ability here on the grid, this weird, wonderful world that we live in together, I love you for that. And yeah, so on that note, we'll see you on the next one.